Hey, this is Bobby Warren with PlayingWithPizza.com. Welcome to my Frank Pepe series, calling it Pursuing Pepe. I was going to call it the Frank Pepe Experience, Are You Experienced, after Jimi Hendrix, but Pursuing Pepe, I like the ring of that. So I think it was around 2018 when I saw a Dave Portnoy One Bite Pizza review from Frank Pepe's in New Haven, Connecticut, that the iconic pizzeria fell into my radar.
All right, Frankie. You made me take my jacket off because you get a different thumbnail so people know it's a new day. You're a moron if you don't know we do one a day. We are at Frank Pepe's, the original. So I've had Pepe's before, Chestnut Hill. There's another one in Connecticut I've had after a golf tournament. I've never had the original in New Haven. This is one of the legendary classic places. I love Pepe's.
I grew up outside Boston, grew up on a New York style pizza that they served at Bianchi's Pizza on Revere Beach, and Pizzeria Regina, which is in Boston's North End, and Faneuil Hall and Quincy Marketplace. Like Portnoy, who grew up about 6-7 miles away in Swampscott, Massachusetts, I was a fan of basically New York style pizza. It's based off of Neapolitan pizza from Naples, Italy, but not quite. So anyway, once I heard about Frank Pepe's and this New Haven style of pizza, which they call Abizza, which is spelled Apizza. You think it's a pizza, but it's Abizza. And once I started to learn about it, I knew I had to try it. But the problem was, whenever I go to Boston, New Haven's like a 2.5 hour drive away. So that means basically I'm going to have to take out a whole day of visiting family, to enjoy Frank Pepe's. One of the things that kind of kills me is that in 2011, my wife Wendy and I were actually in New Haven, Connecticut. We went there for a couple of reasons. One, we're going to get a burger at Louis' Lunch. I think we saw it on Food Network or something like that, which is the originator of the hamburger sandwich. And we also toured Yale University as well. And while we were in the area, I think, we went through Mystic, Connecticut for Mystic Pizza, went to Providence, Rhode Island. So we kind of did a Rhode Island, Connecticut trip. But in 2011, I didn't know anything about Pepe's. And Louis' Lunch is a half mile away from Worcester Street in New Haven, Connecticut. Worcester Street is the Little Italy area of New Haven. It's got Pepe's, it's got Sally's a Pizza, Modern a Beats. See, there I go, a Beats. Those are like the three most famous pizzerias in New Haven. We're about a mile, like I said, a half mile away from Pepe's and Sally's, but didn't know anything about them, so we missed out. Usually we, flew into Boston. Then, after COVID, for 2 years, so in 2020, 2021, we didn't see my family in Boston. When we went back in 2022, after all that scare was down, and we were first driving to Maine to meet the family in Maine, then going back down to Boston. So we went way out of our way. And so I wanted to get to New Haven, but again, it's like 5 hours driving, just driving. But with me and my frequent stops, there's enough of that. It's probably like 7 hour trip or whatever. And then, the time at the pizzeria, it's going to be 8, 9, 10 hour day for a slice of pizza. As much as I wanted to do it, I just wasn't going to do it. Something interesting about that trip. So my sister Michelle and her husband Glenn have a lot in a campground on Long Lake, right outside of Naples, Maine. So We're going from Worcester, Ohio, to Naples, Maine. Then we're going to go down to Boston to see family. And this is the first time since COVID in 2022. So we get to Naples, Maine, and I don't know if my friend Andy told me, because she has family up there. I don't know if she told me about this New Haven style pizza shop up there, or if I just discovered it some other way. I'm thinking it was Andy. She'll let me know if I was right or wrong. But we're in Naples, Maine, and there's a Randy's Worcester Street Pizza that serves New Haven style pizza. It was started by Randy Price, and I think he eventually sold it to a longtime employee. 2022 trip up to Maine and Boston. I tasted my first New Haven style up eats, and I will say that I really wasn't impressed with the Worcester Street Pizza up there in Naples, Maine. And I was thinking, man, if this is it, I really wasn't missing out on much. Well, to find out if this was really it, if Randy's Worcester Street Pizza was on par with Frank Pepe's, continue watching these videos. Fast forward to 2023. My brother Carmine is going to come up to Boston. We're going to come up to Boston. You know, my sisters and my mom and the rest of the family are already up there. So this is going to be the first time in 20-something years that the entire family, you know, my 4 siblings and my mom are going to be together. And I didn't want to take away time to go down to New Haven. So I'm talking to my brother Carmine. He says, look, you got a pizza blog, you got a YouTube channel, you got to do it. You know, when are you going to be able to do this again? So it was at that time that I said, you know what, we're going to do it. So part of this trip, or what, you know, really initiated this trip, was we were going to go see Wendy's Uncle Jay and Aunt Kim in Greencastle, Pennsylvania. And so Wendy kind of suggested, well, we're going to be in Pennsylvania, might as well go all the way to see your family. So that precipitated the trip. Then I talked to my brother. He says, look, you got to do it. So now I'm thinking, okay, do we do it on the way to Pennsylvania, or do I take a day out and go down? And I don't know, just somehow I thought, well, what if we stop on the way up? So we'll stop, visit Pepe's, and then head up to Boston. And that's what we decided to do. And so I was able to go to Pepe's. It was an amazing experience, and you're going to learn more about my trip, my tour, in future videos. But hey, thanks for watching. There's nothing to eat right now, but my grandmother, the Bondandola, would always have food ready and say, manja, Bobby, manja. Anyway, ciao, till next time.